Good morning, beautiful, exciting, fantastic Thursday. It is, and it's Throwback Thursday. Yes, across all social media platforms, people will be doing the TBT today. And so we too decided, we'll be talking, looking into the past a little and then projecting forward to see exactly what Nigeria should be looking at today. My name is Tomisi, and it's a pleasure being here with you on the Bumper Breakfast Thursday, pardon me, Thursday edition. It's always a it gladdens my heart to be here every morning with you. It looks as if my day is not complete when I don't spend the first few hours with you, on the show. And so today we're taking a look at the papers, and I have two gentlemen. Yeah, they're extremely gentle, extremely gentle. Two gentlemen with me this morning. But you know what? When they start talking, they spit fire. I have Chief Jonathan Nwoke right
Nice
on my left-hand side this morning. Is a proprietor, is a school owner, and a public affairs analyst, an educationist who has been in the system for quite a while. So well done, kudos to you, and good morning.
Good morning, viewers. Nice to be here.
And of course, I have Mr. Akin Fatuke, who is also here this morning with me. He's an economist by profession. He's an elder statesman. He's a public affairs analyst, a communication specialist, and vastly experienced in the oil down and upstream sector. Good morning, Mr. Fatuke.
Good morning, Tomisi. Good morning, Jonathan. And good morning, Nigerians. Nice to be here.
So let me just say, first of all, let me welcome the conversations this morning with oil subsidy. And like I knew it was the banner headline. It is the banner headline of at least 2-3 papers this morning. And we're talking subsidy removal. The group NLC doubt fuel consumption, and NNPC demand 3 trillion naira for subsidy. And that's the Punch newspaper, the banner headline. Before we delve into the story, just a few days ago, the federal government rescinded its decision to cancel all forms of subsidy 2022 June and said they were going to give it an extension of at least 18 months. Are we joking? Are we serious? Are we politicizing subsidy? Or are we simply dancing to the tune of the NLC? Jonathan, what do you think, or what has been the feelers you're getting from outside since the return of subsidy for another first 6 months of the year plus extra 18 months?
Well, I would say Nigerians are very, very tired of this issue of subsidy because most of the players, most of the people in the government that have been, going back and forth over the issue have been playing on the conscience and intelligence of Nigerians. I could remember vividly during the Jonathan's administration, this issue was on the front burner, and people took to the streets, being sponsored by the opposition as at that time, trying to paint that government in black. But now, the issue of subsidy has resurrected again by the government that was kicking against that particular removal of fuel subsidy. So I'm not against removal of subsidy. What is there is the insincerity of the government and the players in the oil industry, because they have been making Nigerians drive with the intent that Nigerians are getting subsidy. At the end of it, it serves as a cover for them to, defraud Nigerians. Sorry to use that word. Trying to make Nigerians believe that the subsidy, the figures they are quoting, is the right figure. And then this, at the end of the day, the subsidy or the amount that they collect goes into the hands of few individuals. But so I'm not against the removal of subsidy. But the truth of the matter, I'm not against if actually they will be sincere. Are you getting what I'm saying? If actually they will be sincere that the removal of the subsidy is the only way to go, and they do it in the right way, I'm not against that.
All right, so this is what I'd like to draw your attention to this morning. Fayemi, the chairman of the Governors Forum, has said there is a lot of fraud in consumption and distribution figures. The House of Representatives have raised a 28-member panel to probe daily fuel consumption and refineries. And the third one, Nigeria risk bankruptcy. These are all the riders on the banner headline of the Punch newspaper this morning. Nigeria risk bankruptcy as fuel subsidy continues, experts warn the federal government. I remember that quite a number of weeks ago, the IMF advised Nigeria subsidy is one of the problems we have. We look back a little, and I'm wondering if something is not working for us and we need to remove it, and then we're putting it back, and every time we remove it, and then we're putting it back, high inflation, we say fuel pump price is likely to go up, food inflation. I mean, there is just a whole lot of issues that we're dealing with at the same time. My question, if this mode of applying the subsidy is not working, and Nigerians are still clamoring that don't give it to the few people, why are we not looking at a better way? Why are we not rejigging the system through which we are applying the subsidy?
Thank you very much, Tominsin. Please, let's just quickly, for those who have the discerning mind,
yes,
just look at this number scenario, and I will come to what you have just said. The 2022 budget signed into law,
yes,
is a 17 trillion
budget.
And to fund that, we've gone a borrowing. Part of what we have been
Don't forget that we
saying,
borrowed last year too, and we're yet to pay.
part of what we are saying is that we have the capacity to even look at how we are going to repay
What we've
the
borrowed.
loans. The economy is not working, it's a locomotive that is not moving forward.
Okay.
There is crass unproductivity. You see it also anytime you begin to see kidnappers, ransom for money, those things don't advance our GDP as they always talk about. And then girls being raped, young girls and all that. Those are the manifestations. Now, we have now been told that subsidy has been restored.
Okay.
I just want us to look at the numbers. So we have a 17 trillion budget. Add on to that 3 trillion that
NNPC is asking for.
So that makes what? 20 trillion.
20 trillion.
By the same token, our revenue projection is 10 trillion.
So we're going to borrow 10.
So we have to look for 10 trillion. I just told you that the economy is not, we don't have light, people are just, unemployment is high. So we need to now get 10 trillion by additional borrowing over what I just mentioned. What that tells you as a developmental economist is that if anybody is telling you that we are facing the Golgotha on our road to Golgotha of bankruptcy,
Believe it.
they have a point. Now let's get now back to what you mentioned. I keep on saying it all the time. You cannot manage what you cannot measure. What is the true consumption of petroleum products in Nigeria? Nobody has been able to. A way out is, those trucks go to not just the tank farms now, to the depot that are worn out, they are decrepit, they've not been serviced for a long time. You take fuel in there. If you are looking for the numbers, you can begin to now then say, okay, if Jonathan has taken his truck in there, he's taking 30,000 liters, he goes there for the second time, he's taking 60, and I've done the same, so we're talking about 120.
Yes.
Now, what Jonathan has taken,
Yes.
how has it been used by us?
Where did he take it to? Who did he sell it to?
That's it.
Or,
That's
so
the
don't let me use Jonathan. He's a gentleman. You introduce him as a gentleman. I think he's more gentle than me. Why do you take my own portion? Why do you take my own portion? I would have taken it to Oshun. I would have taken it to Zamfara. You know why? if I can sell it and smuggle it across
The border.
the borders, and I'm going to make 4-5 times,
Despite the fact that I've collected subsidy for getting it.
are you going to say I am a foolish man? I will just then think of you and not go and sell it out there, and thereby want to now then say yes. So I've taken it as a subsidized amount at a detrimental cost to me, to my children, to our children's children, no hospital, no whatever it is, and whatever little is being mismanaged, is being stolen blind. And then you now expect me to take the risk of taking my truck in there to go out. So in other words, I am saying that data to determine what we are really consuming is not there. And you know the reason why it is not there? Because there are operators, there are people who are benefiting from this subsidy. And let me now break the table to you. I've been in that industry, and it's high time we begin to now look at, when you say presidency, the state governors, whatever it is, including Nigerian Labour Congress. I tell you, there are people whose hands, legs, mouth is now being widened to the extent that they would never, ever want us to remove the subsidy. So now, the political will to do the right thing, yes, it's true. And so Jonathan will now say, no, I don't want it. Me too, I will say, you will say, we cannot eat our cake and have it. I agree. I agree that political will is not there. But what pains me, and I have to tell you what my own pain is that close to about 7 years ago, when the present government came on the throes of talking about subsidy and playing a lot of politics and driving, the Jonathan's administration out. I remember Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala, who was the coordinating minister for the economy, was so frustrated, she wrote a letter to us, marketers, that government is owing so much. You could see her ennui. Ennui means you are just tired.
Yes.
Don't forget, this same woman, because of some of the things that she wanted to plug, was going to lose her mom. The forces were on there. So, the forces that will eliminate. So, it's one thing to say, yes, the subsidy has been restored. At what cost? At what implication? If Nigerian Labour Congress is now saying, Uhuru, they've not won anything, we've only postponed our evil days to some 18 months. My point, therefore, is all of us, those who are ruling us, and those of us who are being ruled, those who are stealing us blind, and those of us who are hailing them and saying, yes, these are our rank candidates, these are our people, we are in a deep mess. Nigeria is in a deep mess. President Muhammadu Buhari says at one point in time, we have a PIA, which investors are already looking at, which inherently says subsidy by way of this distortion is going to go out. And people are already trying to come into Nigeria, and suddenly you then say, no, that's not going to happen. You know the trust deficit that will make too. You are not producing, the economy is not producing enough to be able to service those debts, and yet you want to go for additional debts. And President Muhammad Buhari said, well, if that is what you people want,
if that's what you say is going to work for us,
let's continue on our way, on our way to Golgotha. It's not smelling nice. It's not looking nice. We need men and women of goodwill. Unfortunately, 7 years ago, when Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala wrote all that, and President Muhammad Buhari came, I know I was part of the team. This is painful. And we wrote a paper. This is what we need to do. This is how we should do it. You know, the response? that all of us were thieves. Both men, the cowboys, and the real men in the industry lumped all of us together. Said he was going to be the Minister of Petroleum. Nothing was done. At that time, he said it is only people that he trusted that he was going to deal with. And they were telling him a lot of lies. That petroleum could sell for 40 naira and all that time. And we said, let Professor Tam David West come demonstrate this. We are still running after that lack of
system.
demonstration. 7 years after, the same government that said petroleum subsidy was a fraud is now still talking about petroleum subsidy.
That's it.
It therefore means we do not have people who are capable of leading, one, and then we do not also have people who are intermediaries, call them ministers, call them governors, call them whatever it is, call them legislators, who are working optimally. And finally, those of us who are down,
Who are being led?
who are being led, gisting and jesting and carousing and lying to ourselves, we are also not a serious lot. We need men and women who know their onions, who take the bulls by the horn. If Muhammadu Buhari lost that opportunity from the onset on the paper we gave him, and he's come back and we are on the same spot, it's very, very painful.
Petrol landing costs, still looking at the front page of the Punch. Petrol landing cost rises to 282 naira per litre. Oil, it's $90 a barrel. Deductions from FAC to police fund illegal, court tells the federal government. Tinubu graduated from our school, insists Chicago University. Are we back at this? Senator Oke's bill empowering federal government to seize illegally acquired assets, Odua cakes, and will only screen presidential candidates, won't endorse any ACF. Now, you have Wike Lad claimed abandoned aircraft stolen in 2015. Alleged sexual assault, Babajisha drops no case submission, opens defense 17th of February. Okorocha plans World Conference on Presidential bid, 6 senators' prayers. Overwhelming majority of Igbo don't believe in secession. Coming from Ohaneze. Inspector killed fighting herdsmen, attackers 2 bandits dead in Ogun Forest. And Akeredolu alleges massive payroll fraud, vows sanction against the corporates. The governor of Ondo State is always in the news in recent times. Okay, Nigerian Tribune here. Rivers floors federal government. Court bars direct funding of police from federation account. Order refund to Rivers. Page 4 tells us more. Sanwo-Olu commissions 3.89 kilometer Ojota Okwebi Link Bridge. What's that? What's that? Which Ojota Okwebi Link Bridge? What was the bridge?
Well, I think there is a particular opening.
Okay.
There is the link road, but this particular one, it's another one that is going to be a bit of a fork.
It commissions it, means it's been done. Okay. I think it should be in the news yesterday. Okay, it's a flag off. Okay.
It's a flag off. So,
okay, it's a flag off.
So that flag off is, and in the words of the governor, is going to open up a lot of economies and take a lot of.
I can imagine what that's going to do. Okwebi this way and then Ojota that way. A link in the middle.
I think kudos to that. That
good thinking.
Up.
We need
to
that
have
traffic.
Yes, to ease the traffic flow.
Yeah, COVID-19 Presidential Committee deactivates passports of 200 defaulters, and NSAS, or your judicial panel, recommends compensations of 121 petitions. 44-year-old man fed killed, 3 policemen shot as gunmen attack Ogun community. I'd like you to take this one, coming from Ohaneze Ndigo, saying that overwhelming majority of Igbos don't believe in secession. What then do they believe in?
Yeah, it's a fact that majority or a good number of Igbos don't believe in secession. But the problem we have with Nigeria is the gross injustice done to a particular section of the country. Like if actually we are playing fairly in our political space, if actually we are given equal opportunities to every Nigerian, no matter their tribe or their, where they come from, there won't be problem. I am an Igbo man. I don't believe in secession. A majority of the elites in Igbo land don't believe in secession. What they are fighting for is the unjust treatment of the Igbos in Nigeria.
In terms of what?
In terms of, in every aspect of when you talk of the political space, the Igbos, we have never, let me just try to calm down. You talk of the presidency, we have not been able to get a shot at that particular position. You talk of appointments, check the number of appointments, major appointments in Nigeria. How many Igbos do you find there? You talk about, in short, in every aspect of the economy. Let me not just point out.
Except the economy itself.
Except the economy itself. So what I'm trying to point out is that Igbos, those of them that are, those of them that are educated, those that understand what it takes to be in a country, don't support secession. Because the more, the merrier. Because in Nigeria, the number is important in our recognition in international affairs. So, trying to cut down the country into pieces is not the solution. So the Igbos are not actually in support. Majority of the Igbos are not in support of secession, but they are against the unfair treatments that the Igbos are receiving. Like I was just saying, you look at
this marriage.
In this marriage called Nigeria, in this project called Nigeria, we are not being fairly treated. Is that unfairness, that injustice that most of the Igbos are against?
So you're saying that this is even something that can be corrected?
Yes, it can be corrected. It can be corrected. Like what is happening now, the Igbos are saying, we want to have a shot at the presidency. Give us the opportunity. Let us be there as other tribes have done.
I've gotten that.
Yes, let us try. Give us that opportunity. Support us so that we'll be there. I think is a kind of opportunity, or how do I put it? It is a time Nigerians use this opportunity to righten the wrongs of the past, at least by giving them that opportunity. Though I'm not saying that they should just be given that opportunity on a platter of gold, they must contend for it. Because politics is not something you just go and they just give it to you and like that. You need to work for it. You need to fight for it, but let there be fairness. That is what majority of the Igbos are saying. That is what the Ohaneze Ndibo is saying. And you, Thomason, you have to agree with me that Nigerians are not treating Igbos fairly.
Nigeria or Nigeria?
Nigeria as a country is not treating Igbos fairly, as far as I am concerned.
President Muhammadu Buhari has always been of the opinion that the Igbos control the economy of the country, and that is power, and that is true. You agree with him?
Yes, the Igbos are the Igbos in terms of commerce. The Igbos, yes, they are businessmen and women. So they're doing very well when you talk of controlling the economy. So by their personal or individual efforts, they are doing very well.
So
you understand?
I like to ask that question.
But in our collective, what do I call it? In our collective resources.
Yes.
That is the area
where
have been unjustly treated.
Exactly.
Yes.
So let me go back to the Nigerian Tribune was where I was. I moved to the Nigerian Tribune and I saw a few stories that I'd like to call attention to. This one says, 44-year-old man killed, Fed killed, 3 policemen shot as gunmen attack Ogun community. Army arrests 150 suspected political thugs going to Ekiti from Ibadan. Moves suspects to Ondo military barracks. 3 trillion naira fuel subsidy. How the NGF labor brokered truce. Fault administration of subsidy regime, we need to carefully verify all the NNPC estimates. Fayemi. NLC TUC decried trust deficit in previous negotiations. All right, we'll talk about the Ekiti, PDP primaries in a couple of minutes. But before we get there, Saraki Okorocha joined the 2023 presidential race. Interesting, Ekiti. APC primary. I won't accept results written in hotel room coming from Badaru. 183,000 party members set to elect candidate through direct primary. 2022, NNPC presents 3 trillion naira subsidy bill to FEC. Council wants 103 billion removed by National Assembly, restored in the budget. All right, moving straight to the Nation newspaper quickly. The Nation newspaper, government to fund petrol subsidy with 3 trillion in just 1 year. And FEC OK's 2.557 trillion supplementary budget. Presidency, we will borrow to meet obligation. Oh my God. APC adopts direct primary to pick Ekiti candidate. All right, Sanwo-Olu, we will deliver Okpebi Ojota Bridge next year. 2023, Saraki Okorocha to seek presidential ticket. Fayoshe's man, Kolawole, is Ekiti PDP candidate. And Rivers fault ex-commissioner's defense on dumped plane. Akeredolu alleges compromise of Ondo payroll. Oshpapi may get 20 years. Oh. Inspector, 2 others kill Twitter conditions for Facebook and WhatsApp. That's coming, that's coming, that's coming. The Guardian newspaper, Governor's Labour cake as NNPC presents 3 trillion naira subsidy bill to FEC. NGF, Labour leaders seek forensic probe of NNPC figures. Alleged fraud in consumption, distribution numbers. Nigeria will pay price of more borrowings. Presidency confirms OPS concerns. Rivers floors federal government over police trust fund deductions. And Ekiti, Fayoshe's anointed candidate, Kolawole, wins Ekiti PDP primary. And of course, reps reject immunity for Senate, President, Speaker, others. Ondo government, PDP disagree over bulletproof cars as Assembly bemoans lack of funds. And Sanwo-Olu commissions legacy projects. All right, let's take a look at Ekiti PDP primaries which took place yesterday. The front page of the Punch newspaper looks very interesting this morning with a picture story that shows you exactly what was gotten. 150 PDP talks, 150 political talks, arrest raised tension as, oh my God, the ammunition on the front page, the ammunition. The Punch newspaper gives you, that story. But the Nigerian Tribune delves a little bit into the story by telling us that they were arrested while on their way from Ibadan. About 150 men suspected to be political thugs were arrested by men of the 32 Artillery Brigade in the early hours of Wednesday. The armed men who were coming from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, were arrested at about 3 a.m. at Itaiwure Efon Junction in Efon in Ekiti State, who was said to be heading to Ado Ekiti, the Ekiti State capital, ahead of the day's primaries of People's Democratic Party. Now, confirming the incident, source had said they were moved to Oweno Barracks in Akure, Ondo State. He said the suspected armed thugs were arrested at Itaore, Efwalaye, by military men. It was an 18-passenger bus, 5 of them. 5 18-passenger buses, were there. This is what you're watching on the screen, what ensued yesterday at the venue of these primaries, where a lot of people... Quite interesting. Are we back at this? I thought we had gotten better. I'm trying to call one of the participants in that primary, one of the aspirants. She will be telling us exactly what happened. But Mr. Fatuke, look at this. Did you hear that Senator Olujimi pulled out last minute?
Yes, when the primaries...
To retain a Senate ticket.
When the primary started, of course... she announced her being pulled out and then made allusions to the fact that the party hierarchy were not putting their ears to the ground well enough to know that the whole architecture was skewed against her, and therefore was not going to believe that. Oni, on his part, made the point that, the delegates list contained or may contain, well, he actually said contained some names that should not be there and what have you. And if you now then marry that to what we are seeing at the junction of Efunalai, when some of us make the point that we are just not ripe for democracy, in the way democracy should be run, and people say that we don't know what we are saying. We are looking at a party primary. This is not the general election. PDP party primary is not going to be different. It may not necessarily be different from APC. Just party primaries. So internally, the electoral bill that we are expecting to say that the parties should go choose what
their
mode,
candidates,
whether you choose it to be direct, whether you choose it to be indirect, or whether you choose it to pander to what Mr. President has said, consensus. Is this what we are going to be getting? And more blood not going to continue to flow? In June of 2022, when we are going to be looking at Ekiti State, and the following month, July, Osun State, virtually all parts of the country, in terms of security that we are talking about, kidnaps and what have you, and we are talking about trillions of borrowed funds is going to be subjected to this, and for what ends? So I come to the inescapable conviction, and I stand by my conviction, that the democracy of government of people, by the people,
for the people,
is not working in our climb.
Maybe we should redefine our own democracy, don't you think?
It's not likely to continue to work. Again, we just spoken about subsidy. This is another area where I am not seeing the so-called dividend of democracy coming on board.
But then we're talking about two political parties here. The APC has said they're going to adopt direct primaries for their own primaries. But this is the PDP, a party that is trying to gain power in Ekiti State. And just as that was about to happen, we're already looking at about 150 thugs arrested on the way already in Ekiti State with all kinds of ammunition. Let's speak to Oluwaseyi Ige, one of our colleagues from Ekiti State, and let's talk about what happened at the PDP primaries yesterday. Uncle Seyi, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Were you at the primaries yesterday?
Well, I monitored the primaries.
Okay. Please tell us exactly what happened.
Well, the proceedings were free and fair.
Okay.
There were no rancors. There were actually no visible protests from any of the aspirants.
Okay. After the result was announced?
After the result was announced, the runner-up actually congratulated the winner.
Okay.
Publicly, and also spoke to the people present, and after that, I didn't observe anyone raise any objection or anything contrary to what the people that conducted it announced.
Okay. So basically, the process that birthed Fayoshe's candidate seemed credible.
Well, credibility should be a word I think is a little bit subjective to each individual's interpretation.
Okay.
But I think I would rather use the word transparent.
Transparent, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Because it was done in the open, there were no shadowy dealings. Everyone there could see who is voting, and the votes were counted publicly.
Okay.
And it was clear, and everybody saw what happened.
Okay. I like that part. I like that clarification. Thank you so much, Mr. Ige, for joining us this morning. Now, you see that?
Yeah,
So they congratulated each other.
they congratulated each other according to what he reported. Yes, I'm happy that they congratulated each other at the end of the exercise. But I'm not, it's very, very sad that in Nigeria, we still play politics in the way we've been playing it for the years back. Because I believe Nigerians should try as much as possible come out of that uncivilized way of doing politics, like what happened. People carrying guns, carrying all manners of weapons in the name of politics. I think Nigerians are tired of this killing. Nigerians are tired of this kind of madness in the name of politics. We should try as much as possible to be civil. I so much, support what Mr. Fatoke said concerning Nigeria. We are not ripe for democracy, or we are not practicing democracy the way it should be practiced, or Nigeria is not getting it right by applying the kind of democracy, the kind of the policies, the kind of government we are running, or the kind of system we are running as far as Nigeria electoral system is concerned. Maybe we try out something else. Maybe we try other ways. Because in a democratic, and let me learn, in a democratic, government,
Yes.
in a democratic climate, people should try as much as possible, allow others to express themselves. But in a situation whereby those that are actually intending to exercise their franchise are being victimized, are being cajoled, are being intimidated, that is no more democracy, because people are not given the opportunity to express themselves. I think it's high time we come out of that and do something that is civil, do something that could be acceptable to the entire world.
Are you saying we should tweak our own democracy?
We need to rejig.
Or we should try maybe
we need to try out something else. Maybe we can come up with a homemade system that can work for us. Because when we say we are operating democracy and it's not working, at the end of the day, you see that it's being hijacked. And only the money bags, those that are, that have the wherewithal, buy it over. Is that the system we will continue, applying?
To
adopt year in, year out. You call people, we are going for election. At the end of the day, it's been bought over. I think it's high time we try to rethink and come up with something better than that.
Our politics seems to be skewed in all of this misdemeanment, or if I would call it that, for not practicing money politics, it's violence politics, it's lack of democracy even at the political parties level, and yet we are looking at the 2023 general elections. Mr. Fatoke, what is our hope?
Well, I do not want to continue to sound defeatist or, negative, but there comes a time in a man or a woman's life where you are sunburned, when Helene was talking about that, times like this, great men that are not going to cower or bow to demagogues, men that will look at truth in the face and call it exactly what it is, even if it hurts. You are asking me that is there a hope? I pray there should be one. I'm not saying. You are asking me if internal democracy can work in Nigeria, at least within parties. I'm saying I'm not saying that. The early morning shows what the day is going to look like. The PDP has demonstrated, and I give it to Mr. Ige, who just called in and went ahead to say people congratulate
The aspirants congratulated each other.
Okay, and I've been in this country for a little while, and I'm going to say to myself, I am not convinced that that is just the tip of the iceberg. Just wait, and I pray that I'm wrong. Just wait and see what's really going to come out. Now, another point I want to make is that at that primaries yesterday, from the onset, somebody said, yeah, the delegates, why don't you publish them? Why don't we have the name? Was that done? Yes or no, I don't know. But when Governor Udom showed on television yesterday that this is the delegates list that I am going to use, is from the headquarters, it's been stamped. And some of the aspirants are saying,
where did you get them from?
Get them? It tells you the coloration of how we are. And it's not just PDP, APC, and all others, all the other pretenders that we have, all saying that we are running a democracy is not working. So what my hope is, if this can happen with PDP, if it could have happened with APC when we are even doing councillor elections in a place like Lagos and elsewhere, if those people that you saw didn't come from Mars, they are not Boko Haram, are they? The one that you saw at Efun Alaye. If that can still be happening
150 people,
and you are telling me that
with weapons,
dangerous weapons.
I should not be talking about hope. Hope for where? Unfortunately, I don't see hope. You may attack me and say that I am a pessimist, but I'd rather be a pessimist. Going further to 2023, again the litmus test being in Ekiti that we are now looking at in June 2022, and Osun in July 2021, the Ileri group, the governor is on one side, the other party members are on that side, and
some people are saying that they belong to different factions of the same
Mr. President, the direct primary is the best. The direct primary is the best. Is this what we are going to be getting even with direct primaries? And then when you're not having direct primaries, again, more money will go. And then when you now say you want to have consensus, we all now troop to the courts to determine who is going to be the one that is going to represent us. I come back and I say again and again, we do not have the cultural orientation, the mindset orientation to make democracy work the way it should work. If you lose an election, thank God to President Jonathan, if you lose an election, be man or woman enough to do exactly what he has done after a lot of transparent things have been done, and then you say, congratulations. If you win an election, be magnanimous in victory to call all others. After all, you've just been tested there at the polls. It should not be winners take all, or what we call the politics of bitterness. Not just bitterness, do or die.
The timing of Senator Olujimi's withdrawal, but let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about it. I need to say thank you to both of you for being here with us this morning on the Bumper Breakfast. We're talking politics next. Yes, Nigeria is a project. You did say Nigeria is a project. Let me take some last statements from you before we let you go.
Nigeria is a project, and a project that we need to carry out in a way and manner that will satisfy every Nigerian.
That will satisfy every Nigerian. Mr. That's okay.
Yes, I wish you didn't ask me that. Well, I think Nigeria is a farce. Nigeria is a project that will not see the light of day. If we continue the way we are going, we must restructure. We must restructure our mind. We must plan and plan ahead. We must be known to be able to say the truth. There's nothing wrong if you've not done it well and say, I've not done it well. You know what? I can go back, go learn how to do it better. And if I can get somebody that I know will be able to do it better than me. But all this lie upon lie that we are on, Nigeria is a big farce. For now, what I see is a potential that can get better if you get the right people in. But with what I am seeing, what I'm seeing in the horizon.
Finally, we have one of the aspirants from Ekiti right here with us on the bumper breakfast this morning. Good morning, Princess Kemi Adewumi. Hello, good morning, Princess Adewumi. Hello. Oh.
Sorry.
Hopefully, I wanted us to get our home view because she contested that election.
Okay.
She was the only woman joining who contested against
The men.
Against the men, basically. After Senator Olujimi pulled out, you know.
And you can imagine I'm just imagining, okay, I can imagine the potential, possible potential.
And she had been in the system since 99, since Fayose became
I want to do it, but will people like that be allowed? And then we are now then say we have a template that can take us to the next future.
God will help us.
Amen. I need to celebrate this morning Prophet Oziegbe, who added to his years on Sunday, and of course congratulate him on the 20th anniversary of a ministry. For a man who started ministry from the grassroots and got it all the way to 20 years, started in a room and then got into building a cathedral for himself and for his members. We must say kudos to you. He's a customer of MITV, comes here almost every week. But let's celebrate you this morning and, of course, let the people see exactly how that ceremony went on Sunday.
On DSTV 869.
This is your radio. This is your radio.
Star FM 101.5 gives you the best of music, news, talk, entertainment, and sports like never before. We give you incisive news every hour, quality music, and sports all day round. Listen to the most entertaining, creative morning show on radio as Star FM gives you top newspaper review, headlines about politics, business, crime, events, and entertainment stories between 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. daily. Our midday show gives you classic, up-tempo, and contemporary urban music to start your day and get you energized. Between 10 to 12 noon daily, we serve it fresh. Now, take your lunch with us on Lunch Hour Show between 12 noon and 2 p.m. as we pack you with good mix of music loaded with interactive live chart, comedy, game shows, and current events. Our word of sport on Star FM comes on daily at the 5 o'clock hour, 6 o'clock hour, and 10 o'clock hour. Daily on Star. Our evening belt showcase a mix of urban music, oldies laced with big jokes, talent on shows, and relationships. You don't want to miss is the PM Crew. And round up your day with us on Body and Soul, 11 p.m. to 1 a.m. Daily with the very best of rhythm and blues, cool music to take you to Wonderland. Join us daily as we give you the very best of music, news, sports, talk, and all-round entertainment. Star FM 101.5, entertaining you all the time. Star FM, your favorite radio station. Star FM on DSTV 869.
Do you have continuity or association plan for your business?
Has anyone shared the concept of sustainability with you?
What about the need to protect the rights of minority shareholders?
What are those ingredients germane to having effective meetings?
For these and many more, tune into Corporate Governance Platform every Thursday on MITV, your darling station, on DSTV 255 and UHF 43 at 4:30 p.m.
Corporate Governance Platform is your best medium for informative and educative strategies for the practice of the corporate governance profession.
Institute of Chartered Secretaries and Administrators of Nigeria, ICSAN, the hub of governance professionals.
3rd of January 2021 will surely be a day for the entire church to remember. 20 years of being in ministry for Prophet Uziegbe, who had served God repeatedly in various ways until he built the ministry to make it 20 years. Coincidentally, it was also his birthday. Yes, on the double celebration it was as the church came together to celebrate. It was a glorious 5-day ceremony that culminated into a powerful Thanksgiving service on Sunday, the 23rd of January. Yes, Prophet Dr. Victor Uziegbe was one man who had tenaciously pursued ministry for years, beginning in a 4x4 room in a bedroom apartment, all the way to being able to put up a cathedral to the glory of God. This is worthy of celebrating. This is worthy of recognizing. And so, it wasn't a surprise that men and women of caliber, men of God from across Nigeria and beyond, came to join the host and his amiable wife to celebrate the God of the Word of Power Bible International Church, WOPBIC. It was a memorable gathering. Some of the highlights of the event include the performance by the various guest ministers, the performance by the church choir, and of course, the word that came from the altar, the prayer for the celebrant, and the prayer for the church.
He said, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believe me, the work I do shall he do also. Even greater than that shall he do. If glory is not available, Jesus is not dwelling in our life, there is no greater glory. He who come will not discover that the spirit that manifests glory. When the spirit of God is you, you begin to look like Jesus. Worship you because you remain God. Father, we thank you for your servant. We thank you for the family. We thank you for the church. Thank you for how far you have taken them to. God of heaven and the earth, you are the beginning and the end. Man's life is broken because you want to do something good, something great in his life. Lord, the life of Abraham was programmed. And at the end, every one of us want to become children of Abraham. Lord, I declare by the authority in the name of Jesus Christ that the life of your servant will be so great that the whole world shall behold him in the name of Jesus Christ.
Many of the attendees had so many wonderful things to say about Prophet Dr. Victor Uziegbe, his wife, and the church.
What God is doing for him is so amazing. Indeed, I have seen the hand of God in his life. I have seen the hand of God in the ministry. On behalf of me and my family, we came to rejoice with him, and we are here to wish him more again happy more birthday, good health and prosperity, more birthday ahead to celebrate.
I want to wish Prophet Dr. Victor Ozegbe, I call him my father, my father. I want to wish him that the Lord will continually to grant him good health, and I wish him many more years in the ministry, and his anointing will never diminish.
He's a prophet of our time. I've been with him for so many years, and I've seen the work of God in his hand. God has blessed him mentally, financially, in every aspect of life. God has blessed him, and I pray that the glory of God will never depart from him.
I also pray that the Lord God Almighty will increase his wisdom, will strengthen him. The best is yet to come in his life. That the Lord God Almighty will give him the grace that will be recognized worldwide.
I want to wish my papa happy birthday and a very happy returns. We love you, Daddy.
Wishing you the best in life as you have decided to take this journey with the Lord. He will continue to bless you, prosper you. In this your new age, the Lord will continue to settle you and compensate you.
Pray today as the mobile prophet is adding a year to his year today. May God Almighty liberate him, increase his anointing, increase his strength, oh Lord, to do more of his work. In the mighty name of Jesus, I wish him the best in this his birthday. In Jesus' name, amen.
We say a big congratulations to Prophet Dr. Victor Ozegbe on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of his church and his birthday celebration. Happy birthday, sir.
Hallelujah. The Lord is faithful. We thank God for what God has done. First of all, my name is Prophet Dr. Victor Ozegbe, a.k.a. the mobile prophet. I am so excited for what the Lord has done today. Today is my 47 years birthday and also 20 years in ministry, our church anniversary. I want to thank God and appreciate him for what he has done. 20 years of success, 20 years of favor, 20 years of prosperity, 20 years of good things. I don't know what to say. I am so excited. 20 years of testimony. God has been faithful. And as you can see, you see the crowd, everybody are happy and dancing, giving God the glory. God has been faithful. We cannot say more than, I don't even know what to say. It's too much. I'm short of words.
Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. It's still carrying For the Eyes Part 2 and I have Dr. Priscilla Imade right here with me on the Bumper Breakfast this morning. Good to have you back.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Nice to be here. Good morning.
So yeah, I have been trying as much as possible to figure out what not to eat. You know, we talked about it last week.
Yes.
We're going to focus more on diet that damages the eyes and practices, common practices that damages the eyes. Let's quickly have at it this morning before I do my own test. I have test to do. I test to see if my eyes are still okay.
You are becoming an optometrist, Abby. Well, okay. Common practices, things you should not do that if you want your eyes to be healthy. Number one, don't put anything in the eyes that is not prescribed by your optometrist. I have seen people put things like agbo, herbs in the eye. Some put potash, some put urine, some put breast milk, some put battery water, and all sorts.
But they used to tell us that we should put breast milk in our baby's eyes.
It's a common practice. It's not recommended. It's not advisable. Because, some people feel because breast milk is sterile, well, it can treat. No, most time when your child has a bacterial conjunctivitis, you come to the clinic, we give you eye drops. That is not a sustainable practice and it should be discouraged. Because even sometimes too, in the process of overputting the milk can even be infected on the baby's face or around the surroundings and things like that. Things can go wrong. if it's not an eye drop prescribed by an optometrist, don't put it. I had a case of a woman who the child had red eye.
Yes.
And she applied potash on the eyes. They said put potash in water, and then the eye will clear. And before you know it,
the baby will go blind.
The cornea was eroded, and it became a serious issue before she came to the clinic. So please, let's avoid those things. Some people have also told me, say, doctor, they said when I wake up in the morning, the first urine I should just put in the eye, and my eye will be shining and clear. So please, those are harmful eye practices. Avoid that.
Like
yes.
You wake up in the morning, that first urine,
they say put it in the eye.
What if you have infection in your body?
Oh, that is the thing. How about drivers? They said, doctor, I can put petrol in my eye. One driver told me, say, when my eye are red, I put petrol to clear it. All the yama will just go off. Bam. So please, those are harmful eye practices. Let us avoid them. Anything that is not prescribed by your optometrist, please don't put in the eye. By so doing, many people have damaged their eyes. Another common practice I have found here is that people are always in the habit of, when they have eye problem, they just go to the chemist, just go and buy eye drop. Or they will ask their neighbor and say, Tumishe, last month your eye was paining you, the eye drop you used that cleared it, please write it for me. Then they will go and buy.
They return themselves into doctor.
Exactly. There was a case I also had in my clinic of a man who's had pain in the eye, and the neighbor told him, this is the eye drop I used when I had such symptoms. You know, wait, but the eye drop was putting, and I discovered after 1 week he could no longer see. That was when he now came to the clinic, and when he was coming, they had to hold him by the hand. Exactly. Yes. When I examined him and I discovered that his pupils were dilated, he was using dilator eye drops. And I asked, where did you get this? How did you come about this? And he said to me that the neighbor told him that this was what he used when he had issues. And he went to the chemist and he bought it, and lo and behold, it was the wrong drop. And if he didn't come to the clinic, perhaps he would have maybe lost his sight. But at least we were still able to revive the eye and everything. So please, if it is not a medication prescribed by your optometrist, don't put in the eye. Avoid self-medication. Avoid putting anything at all that will harm your eyes. Another thing also we should also stop this season is wearing other people's glasses. Some people, they just come to me and they say, doctor, I wore my wife's glasses, so I've been using my colleague's glasses to read. I couldn't see. I wore my wife's own and the thing was very clear. I wore my colleague's own and it was very clear. So all these things, the prescription of your wife is not your own. Your colleague's prescription is not your own. And then no two people have exactly the same eyes or the same eyesight. So when you start wearing other people's glasses, you may end up damaging your eyes. You may think you are seeing, but on the long run, you may actually be damaging your eye. Another thing too, we should also discourage this year is the habit of patronizing quacks. Some people will say, optometric clinics are too expensive, eye test is too expensive, glasses are too expensive, then they will not come to the eye clinic. They will not go and meet quacks. In their heart of heart, they know that the person they are dealing with is not qualified, and then they will follow the person's recommendation. At the end of the day, when they now have serious issues with the eye, they will now be looking for the eye doctor. Some people have gotten glaucoma like that. They didn't know that the glaucoma was there because they were patronizing quacks, and these people will not be able to carry out the comprehensive eye test that we talked about last time.
They'll say there is one optician by the market that you can go to.
Why will you do that?
I'm not asking the question. Which one is the correct person to go to?
Thank you very much. In Lagos State, for example, we have certification. Lagos State government ensures that each health facility is accredited to provide healthcare. Yes, HEFEMA. So they will put their logo there. Once you enter any clinic, you will not see the HEFEMA logo. Please turn back. Also, the Nigerian Optometric Association certifies our members. We also have our own registration that we renew every year. So when you get there, you will see it. So I mean, even on your own, you will know whether somebody is a quack or not. And then, the reason many people patronize quack, like they have told me, say, they are cheap. Qualified personnel, their prices are too expensive.
Is it possible
How much can you pay for your eyes?
No, but is it possible for when you now have your prescription, can you now take it to just anybody producing glasses to do it for you?
That practice too is also wrong. You know, over time, I believe in Nigeria we would put a lot of things in place. If you go outside the country,
because people sell frames today, and then the next thing is
they sell glasses. Even some people told me, I bought these glasses on the road. I bought it in traffic, and you know, just like that. And I'm like, how can you commit your eyes to such? How can? So please, all these practices, people may be doing it, they are getting away with it, but ultimately you end up paying for it later. So please, we highly discourage that. If you go to developed countries, these things are not so. If you must meet, we have 3 people who work as far as the eyes are concerned. We have the optician, the optometrist, and the ophthalmologist. If you have a prescription from your optometrist and you want to meet your optician, in developed countries, they are certified, they are qualified to do it. But here, we don't produce lenses in Nigeria. We don't manufacture lenses. We don't, even frames, we don't do. So all these things, we really don't, you yourself, you don't understand the nitty-gritty of how they work. You don't know even the science behind the fact that you can put glasses on your eyes and you can see. So how will you know if the material that lenses was made of is adequate, is appropriate, or is suitable? So one has to be very, very careful.
So everything that has to do with these eyes is very delicate.
Yes, and with time, regulations are coming on. I know the Standard Organization of Nigeria, in conjunction with the Nigerian Optometric Association, they are trying to put standards in place, just like you have in the case of drugs. You know, sometimes as a layman, you may not know the drug that is fake or that is real. But because NAFDAC is putting measures in place now, we know the that difference. Yes. So that's what we should do as far as lenses are concerned.
How far must I see? To know that. I want to do my own test.
Yes, so
let's do my own test. Let's do my own
when
test.
you want to read tiny print, you should read at 40 cm. That means at arm's length.
So I'm
hold your
stretching
book
my
like
arm
this.
right now.
Yes, you should be able to read. If you cannot read it, that means you are coming today to check your eyes.
So how many paragraphs am I supposed to read?
You are supposed to read the tiniest material from that point. We call that an N8 line. So read now. Let's see if you can see it.
Okay.
Today's paper is The Nation.
The Nation newspaper, I'm reading the paragraph above, just below the nameplate. Direct deduction from the Federation account to fund the police negate section 4, chapter 1A.
I should clap for
and
you.
Of the Nigeria police.
So you passed.
I passed. So there's no short-sightedness?
No. At least you are able to read.
Absolutely.
We measure vision at 40 cm and then at 6 meters or 20 meters.
Okay.
20 feet rather.
20
or
feet.
6 meters, yes.
Okay. We need to say thank you to Dr. Priscilla for joining us again this morning. Next week, we're going to be talking about food, the best kind of meal you should have as you are caring for your eyes. But just before we call it a wrap, Kenny Adiaga will be giving us the business report for this morning. The chart can be put up on the screen there. Kenny, good morning. How are you doing today?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kenny.
I'm fine, and you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Good morning, Tomisi.
I want the numbers from the capital market yesterday. What happened there?
Well, the market was up and it appreciated by about 1.29% in terms of the index. And this can be attributable to the activities of investors in some highly capitalized stocks that appreciated in price.
Okay.
But let's look at the figures as we have it yesterday. It shows that 328.99 million shares were traded, value at 4.82 billion naira, exchanged in 4,219 deals as a result of activities in the shares of Multiverse PLC, Mutual Benefit Assurance PLC, TT Bank PLC, and Champs PLC. For Multiverse PLC, investors take 57.59 million shares, worth 11.88 million naira, exchanged in 112 deals at the market closing price of 21 kobo per share. Mutual Benefit Assurance PLC with 48.26 million shares, worth 12.13 million naira, done in 65 transactions at the market closing price of 26 kobo per share. GT Bank showing 36.75 million shares, worth 936.85 million naira, exchanged in 371 deals at the market closing price of 25 naira 50 kobo. Champs PLC showing 22.1 million shares, worth 4.5 8 million naira done into 3 deals at the market closing price of 21 kobo per share. The lowest trade stock yesterday was that of John Holtz PLC, with just 1 unit of its shares that was traded, valued at 75 kobo. This was done in 1 transaction at a market closing price of 72 kobo per share. Meanwhile, the market recorded equal gainers and losers, showing 19 gainers and 19 losers. The gainers was led by Airtel PLC with a price gain of 115 naira 50 kobo, closing at 1,271 naira. ETI PLC appreciated by 95 kobo to close at 10 naira 90 kobo. Julius Berger PLC went up by 60 kobo, closing at 20 naira 40 kobo. And UCA PLC showing 25 kobo appreciation, closing at 11.
All right, that's why we round off the show this morning. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early. Do have a lovely and a pleasant day. Bye-bye.